What's going on, guys? I'm Jay the Giganotosaurus, and welcome back to my review channel. For my first ever movie review on the channel, we are going to be talking about one of my favorite films to come out of 2023, Godzilla Minus One. But before we get into this review, let's do a history lesson. Godzilla is without a doubt one of the most iconic movie monsters of all time. The first movie was released in 1954, and it was a smash hit. The film was extremely dark and serious in tone, unlike some of the later American films, and it is by far one of my favorite monster movies of all time. And seeing how this is the Big G's 70th anniversary, what better way to celebrate than to review the latest movie? But without further ado, let's dive right into it. This is Godzilla Minus One. The movie begins in 1945 during the tail end of World War II, where a kamikaze pilot lands his plane on an island where a military base is held. While camping that night, a giant monster which they call Godzilla attacks the island and kills all but two people, the main character and one of the soldiers. It turns out that the kamikaze pilot actually had a chance to destroy Godzilla right in front of him, but he never took that chance and decided to cower away instead. When our main character returns home, he finds out that both of his parents were killed in the bombing done by the United States on Tokyo. He meets up with a woman who also lost both of her parents and an infant child, and the three of them take shelter in his house. 2 years pass, and everything seems to go back to normal, when suddenly Godzilla resurfaces, larger and stronger than ever. He was mutated after some nuclear tests were done on the United States' end, and they ended up mutating him to make him stand more upright, instead of his dinosaur form that he was in back in the beginning of the movie. The monster makes landfall in Japan, and it's up to the military to try and stop him. But no matter what they use, bombs, missiles, tanks, whatever they use, nothing works. And if you're a huge Godzilla fan like me, you will know that Godzilla is an indestructible force of nature, and the only thing that stands a chance against him is another giant monster. Unfortunately for the humans, there are no other giant monsters, which means it's up to them to bring Godzilla down. Meanwhile, our main hero seems to be going through a lot, as the woman sacrificed herself to save his life from Godzilla. After the initial attack, Japan decides to take matters into their own hands and try to defeat Godzilla themselves. So they come up with a device called the Oxygen Destroyer, which you throw down into the ocean and it kills everything in the vicinity, and they're hoping it will work on Godzilla. But in order for this to work, they will need to sink Godzilla to the bottom of the ocean. At first, everything goes well, but then the plan backfires when Godzilla figures out their plan. So our main hero takes matters into his own hands and tries to do what he should have done 2 years ago, and sacrifice himself to save the day. With a bomb strapped to the plane, our main hero flies the plane into the monster's mouth and causes an explosion which supposedly kills the monster. Everyone celebrates and the day is saved. And surprise, surprise, the kamikaze pilot actually survived. As it turns out, our main hero jumped out of the plane just before it flew into Godzilla's mouth. And to make things better, the woman who sacrificed herself to save our main hero also survived and is okay. Meanwhile, in the dark depths of the ocean, Godzilla, who is now in a million pieces, can be seen bringing himself back together, which could lead to a potential sequel. And that was the plot to Godzilla Minus One. Now to move on with my thoughts. And my thoughts? It's honestly the best Godzilla film I've seen since the original. Japan has once again shown the United States how a Godzilla film should be done. It's a lot darker and more serious in tone than some of the MonsterVerse movies that America came up with. The MonsterVerse movies are still good, don't get me wrong, and I will review them in a later date to celebrate Godzilla x Kong, but I just prefer when Godzilla's a villain over a hero. Speaking of which, Godzilla is easily the best part of the movie. He's this very terrifying creature that rampages the city of Tokyo, and he's just so powerful. I mean, goddamn. This Godzilla is just so terrifying, and I love it. Even the human characters are very entertaining. A lot of the times in Godzilla movies, the human characters are the worst part of the movie, but in this movie, they're actually interesting to watch. From the main character to the comic reliefs, these characters are actually quite likable. And unlike Godzilla 1985 and Godzilla 2000, which are continuations of the original film while ignoring the events of everything in between, this is kind of a reboot slash prequel, seeing how this movie takes place in the 1940s. Overall, I give this movie a 10 out of 10. It is a masterpiece, and I highly recommend you watch this movie. And with that, that's gonna have to wrap it up for this review. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. It would really help out a ton. Also, let me know what other movies you want me to review in the comments down below. But until next time, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.